Hi and welcome to the Vegan Corner. After receiving many of your requests for gluten-free bread, here we are sharing with you the recipe for some delicious buns. Gluten-free bread in general has the tendency to be quite dense and anything but appealing. Will this be the case for our recipe as well? I seriously doubt that. To begin with, dip the sugar, the salt and the yeast into the water and stir the ingredients until the yeast is completely dissolved, or until you get bored, whichever occurs first. Next, place the flour and the psyllium into a bowl and whisk to properly combine them. Now pour the water mixture into the bowl and whisk the ingredients together to obtain a sort of batter, which is in fact the final dough. You might be thinking, wait a minute, but that's not a dough. Actually it is. Leave the mixture to rest for 8 minutes and you'll be surprised by what psyllium can do to a liquid ingredient. It's almost magical. Just trust me, okay? Once the time has elapsed, use a spatula to scrape the dough from the bowl and grease your hands with some oil. Take the dough and roll it between your hands for a few seconds, just to make it round and to appreciate how soft it is. Now transfer the rounded dough into another bowl, which should also be greased with some oil. The use of oil is not strictly required for this recipe, but it does help to make the process more pleasurable, and because I want you to be zen during your cooking, I do recommend using it. At this point, simply cover the bowl with some cling film and leave the dough to rise in a warm place for 1 hour. Once the time is up, you will notice that the dough has roughly doubled in size, which you can confirm by looking at it and seeing that it is, in fact, twice as big as before. Transfer the dough onto a working surface and divide it into 4 pieces using a knife or a pastry scraper. Grease your hands once again, remember, zen, take one of the pieces of dough and roll it between your hands as you did before to create a small ball. Place the ball onto a tray lined with greaseproof paper or onto a non-stick tray and repeat the process with the other pieces of dough until there is nothing more to roll. The little oil that remains on the dough balls will help the surface to brown properly. Now cover the tray with the second tray and let the dough rise for 20 minutes before moving on. Also, preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, which is about 355 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the time has elapsed, uncover the tray and bake the buns for 20 minutes to complete the process, remembering to rotate the tray halfway through the cooking time to allow for even browning of the surface. These buns have very little in common with the standard gluten-free breads you can buy at the supermarket. The softness of these delicious pockets of flavor is simply unparalleled, and I'm sure you will agree with me once you've tried them. Plus, they are so dead easy to make. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up before moving on and subscribe if you haven't already. Many thanks for watching and on to the next video.